Hello everybody and welcome back for some weekly VR news where I keep you up to date with everything going on in the VR industry, prepare you for this week's new releases, and then focus in on one major story. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. And while today's news might be light on games again, we do have some awesome stuff to check out, like Steam VR users suddenly quadrupling, leaks for the Pico Neo 4, and Meta finally giving us an update for the Quest 2 that we've needed for such a long time. Now there are of course links and timestamps in the description, but before we jump in, I just want to thank you guys for all the support you've been showing this channel. Viewership has been fantastic lately, and if you're enjoying it, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm really trying to hit the 100,000 subscriber mark and get that play button. But for right now, this video is brought to you by Wands Alliances. Wands Alliances features highly competitive 3v3 online action. If you're sick of traditional shooters or prefer something that focuses more on teamwork and strategy, you'll want to look into this game. There's 3 distinct classes to master, a large array of unlockable spells, and highly competitive gameplay that's easy to learn but tough to master. If you're looking for additional information, there are links down in the description. Okay, so let's start things off like normal with game information, and first up is a teaser for the Utility Room. The Utility Room promises to take you on a behind-the-scenes tour of the universe. This barren land is inhabited by strange stone-faced creatures that control the stability of all existence. You'll need to avoid these creatures at all costs, and this game comes with a warning for anyone suffering from megalophobia. That's a fear of large objects if you didn't know. Now this title is also a reimagining of a 360-degree film that you can find on YouTube with the same name. But if that title looks a little bit too weird for you, let's jump back to reality with Car Mechanic Sim. Originally released on flat screen in 2017, followed by a 2021 PCVR port, it's now finally available to Quest users. So if you ever wanted to feel like a real mechanic, building, repairing, painting, tuning, and driving some cars, well now you can. Featuring realistic tools and car parts, you could build up your own service empire. Now another port that's made its way onto the Quest 2 is Tower Tag. Tower Tag was originally a location-based VR title, then it made its way onto PCVR in 2019, and it's finally available to Quest 2 users via the Applab. This is an excellent and highly competitive 4v4 shooter, which plays with a pace similar to a real-life game of paintball. You'll be leapfrogging across 10 separate maps and 3 different gameplay modes, all while ducking and diving behind cover. The title is currently free, so I highly recommend you check it out. Now another free Applab title just announced that they've raised $8 million additional dollars, and this is the physics-based 8-person basketball title Gym Class. Currently sitting with nearly a perfect 5 score with over 14,000 reviews, this game has received a lot of love, and it's completely understandable why they were able to raise so much money. There's no official information on how the money will be used just yet, but if you're a fan of this title, you can expect it to grow significantly in the near future, and it will finally be available on the official Quest store. Okay, so our last gaming story comes from the Stab Your Friends in the Back title Among Us VR. Now while the game is set to release later this year, you can currently sign up for the beta right now. If you're somehow unfamiliar with Among Us, it's a quirky title filled with minigames and betrayal. 4 to 10 players are on a spaceship in need of repairs, but one or more of them is an imposter. The imposter's job is to discreetly take out everyone else, while everyone else tries to fix the ship and watch their back at the same time. There are currently some unofficial ways to play this in VR, and it's an absolute blast, so I can't wait to see what the official mode brings. Okay, so let's move out of game news and into an impressive mixed reality update coming directly from Meta. Their new Interaction SDK makes it extremely easy for developers to implement robust hand tracking into their titles. It's also an open source project, so you can take a look at the code and even borrow some if you wanted to. Now this is a part of their Presence platform, which is a suite of tools to make mixed reality projects. Every time we get a glimpse at the Presence platform, I'm really intrigued to see what Project Cambria will deliver. But even more significant than the future of mixed reality is the fact that a surgery for conjoined twins was recently executed with the help of VR. As reported by the BBC News, a British and Brazilian team were able to plan out and practice the surgery while being thousands of miles apart. When everything was properly prepared, a medical staff of nearly 100 individuals were able to separate the conjoined twins after a 27-hour-long surgery. Now these are the stories that show just how valuable of a tool VR has become, and I'm almost ashamed that I spend so much time on gaming. But on that note, we did get some leaks for the Pico Neo 4. Well, not much to discuss here. We have some supposed pictures of their new controllers. They feature a standard button layout that we've become accustomed to in VR, but it looks like now we have more than just the A and B button. Cosmetically, they also look a lot nicer, with an angled tracking ring rather than the wand-like design of the Pico Neo 3. With Meta's Project Cambria focusing more on mixed reality, and coming in with a huge price tag, I'm really curious to see what Pico will deliver, as it might be the step up that mobile VR gamers are looking for, rather than the expensive sidestep of Project Cambria. And while we're discussing augmented reality, Piano Vision is now available via the Applab, and with its new Air Piano feature, you can learn to play even if you don't have a piano or keyboard. This is a really cool free app if you have any interest in learning to play the piano. It'll help you to learn to read sheet music, there's multiplayer concerts, you can upload custom songs, and even connect your own MIDI keyboard. While not exactly my style, I'll have my wife check this one out and let you guys know what she thinks. Okay, so before we move into today's main story, we have a quick one where Steam VR users have suddenly quadrupled. Historically, the amount of Steam users that have VR has remained around 2%. Now, there have been some occasional sudden peaks and dips, both erroneous and valid, due to items like invalid Steam tracking info or Half-Life Alyx launching, and it looks like we have another one of the former issues going on. It's unlikely that there's suddenly a few million more Steam VR users, so either Valve has changed what they consider a VR user, or there is some erroneous reporting here. Generally, a Steam user is only counted as having VR if a headset was recently plugged in within a certain amount of time. Now, if they change that scope, it could possibly account for the increase in users, but that's still unlikely. And it's also important to note that not all Steam users are surveyed every single month. Only a very small subset are asked if they want to opt in. I always do because I'm a good boy and I value Steam. Okay, so moving into our main story, that is the Quest version 43 update, and it looks like we're finally getting a feature we've been asking for forever, something that was previously promised to come in May or June. So what exactly am I talking about? Well, that's new recording features. These settings will include image stabilization, aspect ratio, frame rate, and video compression quality. For layman's, this means we could help remove the head bobbing movement seen in footage, we can finally shoot in widescreen, and we can alter the overall quality at the expense of file size. Now, there's more potential updates in version 43, but I want to stay on recording for just a minute. I personally know someone who was testing this feature a few months ago, and they gave it really high marks, except for the way the videos were being cropped at 1080p. They said image stabilization worked extremely well, and you can get noticeable quality improvements. Now, they did not do a series of performance testing across different applications, so I can't say if cranking these settings up will lead to degraded performance in-game, but that's already been a pretty big concern for me lately, because there have been multiple titles that stutter when I record. The Twilight Zone, for example, was horrendous to play while recording. Now, for those of you who aren't content creators and don't care about this change, there were some potential leaks for the Quest Pro. Security options for eye tracking and facial tracking were found in this build. So just how an application has to ask for permission to use your microphone or storage, it appears the same option will be present for eye tracking and facial tracking. I guess that helps us feel a drop more secure and indicates that the Quest Pro or Project Cambria is rapidly approaching. Okay, everybody, that was today's VR news. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. And as always, I will see you guys on next time.